Good evening and welcome to our weekly group call. You would think after 150 calls I would get the technology right behind the scenes, but anyway, we're still going. Hope you've all had a fantastic weekend and a really successful trading week. I know a lot of you guys have had some really encouraging and powerful results that have been shared in our Discord channel. So we're going to review that and a few other updates on this call. So with that in mind, let's bring up our agenda for today. So we're going to cover last week's performance and also the updates and also what we're going to do for the week ahead. So let's jump into that. I'm going to just disable the video. And for all those wanting to ask any questions, just remember we've got our group, our group calls chat on Discord, where we can, where you can share your questions and whatever you have. All right. Okay, so let's jump into the results. So I'll just share this. Our signal chart has been looking good this morning, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, so for last week, we started with 16th. So some really awesome results. I know we had contract rollover last week too, so there was a little bit of a, some people were on our old contract. I was trading on the old one, the beginning of the week. But yeah, thanks guys. You've been, you got some payout requests there, which is awesome. So I look forward to hearing about how that went through. Some really good, consistent results on the strategies. A second payout request, so really awesome. Well done there, Blitz. Matthew, some good trading over there, copying some of the templates from Blitz. Awesome. So that's really helpful. So you guys can see the power of sharing templates and working together as a community. I mean, it really makes such a big difference, instead of just being on your own, trading on your own, working on your own templates, but actually sharing them in the community. It helps you do better and also helps members of the community, benefit from those too. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. And then Ali trading the MNQ, the Medina Wick Trader strategy. So the Medina Wick Trader strategy, still my ultimate favorite strategy. And it's perfectly designed for when the price, is forming these wicks, even on a change of direction. Very often, you won't have too much of a loss on that. But, as the price changes direction, gets these wicks, it's really a money printer. I love it. I love that strategy so much. All right. So carrying on. And some good templates shared there. So yeah, keep on with that, guys. It's really awesome to see that. Now my game plan. So my game plan for last week, remember I put in just MNQ contracts for last week. So as I said, I just had a few trading days over there. So 16 September. So the 4 templates that I traded on the game plan. So for those who haven't reviewed the game plan for last week, I don't blame you too much, but my game plan has been a little bit like the Australian rugby team's game plan. Not really putting the best steps forward, but that's okay because it's still been successful. So I've been very successful with the game plan anyway. So quickly looking at the game plan. So I haven't updated the game plan for the week ahead. So if we look at the game plan from last week, what I posted at the beginning of last week, these are the results that I've actually achieved. So the first day, which was Monday, I traded the game plan, just the templates on there, just a few of the templates. Those were the actual results from trading those templates. So it worked out to, $279 for that day. And then the next day, so again, just ticking over nicely. And I think on the Thursday, I had a small loss. So just a ticking over time. Everybody who traded that would have made money last week, but not a lot though. I mean, it was a very conservative template trading on the micros. But that's okay because I was working extremely hard last week on the updates to a strategy that I've been really focusing on for the last few weeks. Okay, so again, oh crap. Are you guys... Okay, so I didn't share the screen. Sorry guys. We will that was my bad. I was showing all the results and we didn't get there. Okay, no problem. So apologies guys. Apologies. That's why I should check the chat, right? So again, I was just sharing the results from last week. So that's everything that I covered the last few minutes. So well done on that. And again, sorry for not showing that, but that is that. Perfect. All right. Our template's looking good. So I just updated this very slightly on the, I updated this template very slightly just by introducing the dots and stuff, but I think it might be a little bit too busy. I mean, we've had some really powerful signals on the strategy, on the signal chart earlier, but I just don't like to see so many like dots and stuff. So I might just go into the indicator settings. And again, if any template that we have is not quite configured, to the right color scheme or whatever, you are able to adjust this, which is pretty cool. So you can bring up your, your indicator list on your signal chart, and on any of the indicators, you can just go and adjust some of the, even if you want to adjust the color of the up and down wave, you can adjust that. But I wanted to just adjust the dots on this. So if I look at the dots down and dots up, I just want to adjust those very quickly. Just make them a bit smaller. So let's try 2 and 2. Just see if it makes it just a little bit less dominant on the page. Yeah, that's a bit better. That's just a little bit better. All right, perfect. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to go template and save as. And this is the signal chart combo 5. Show me the money. So I'm going to save it over there. And on the next update, it will look like this. Cool. So we got a withdrawal, what am I calling this? A bounce off a Fibonacci level over there. So look at the 38.2. Now I'm pretty sure that is the 38.2 in the blue. That is quite it's not one you see very often, to be very honest. I haven't seen that one too often. So if I go to the Fibonacci levels and I look at the blue, those are the weekly ones, you see? Okay, so that is the weekly Fibonacci 38.2 that the price just quickly bounced off there. Okay, so that's what we are seeing there. All right, so again, these levels are extremely powerful. Watch them in action. The take it and run signal chart, again, is still going beautifully. Yeah, so we won't cover too many more of those because we've got quite a busy agenda today with the automated strategies. So what I'm going to do is go straight into that. So we're going to go workspace. I'm just going to go to the game plan for the week ahead. Now, like I said, I haven't specifically prepared the game plan yet. And that's because I was waiting to see what templates you guys were coming up with. So if I look at my chat over here and I go to the Analytical Strategy 2 continuous, I see you guys have been very busy in here with some templates. So that's awesome. So I'm very grateful for that because it's going to save me some time just, looking at a few options. So I'm going to review what templates you guys have come up with in here. So thank you so much for that. And I will review them and see what we can add towards the game plan for the week ahead and work on some other templates too. Okay, so let's have a look at this incredible strategy that I have just released. So we go to the strategies folder and you will notice that we have the strategy listed there called DTB Analytical Strategy 2 Continuous. Okay, so this strategy here works off the momentum bars indicator. So the momentum bars indicator and the SI indicator are very similar, but the difference between the momentum bars indicator is it's going to act on only one of the specific signals that is generated from the brick walls. So normally on the brick walls, you get first signal, second signal, third signal, fourth signal, on the SI indicator. Whereas the momentum bars indicator is choosing the one signal that is showing the best results historically with the A and B settings. So that's how that works. So this strategy that we're looking at here, the Analytical Strategy 2 Continuous, because it's only acting on one of the signals, it's only entering one trade per direction. So it's not entering multiple positions. So that makes it a really powerful strategy in that it's not going to be entering too many positions. It'll work with any type of funded account program. So that is what that is for. So from the top, let's have a look at our settings. Okay, so you'll notice that one of the first settings is this button over here, which says include trade history, untick for faster optimizations. So that's a new little feature that I've put in. And what that does is, let me actually show you what it does. That'll be a good idea. What that does is it completely speeds up the optimization. So I'm going to run an optimization on this. So let me just bring up, let's bring up that strategy. So Analytical Strategy 2 Continuous. So let's do, for example, our first slot. So I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to load up this template that I created earlier because, that's just there already. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just disable like all the slots except for the first, and I'm going to run the optimization including the trade history. So we'll do that first before we look into any of the specific settings of the strategy. Let's just do that. So I'm going to run the A and B settings. So you'll see over here, I'm going to go from 1 to 5. So 1 to 10 is fine on here. So I've got 1 to 20, but 1 to 10, you guys are going to find to be, more than sufficient running in this. 2 to 58 in 2 and 1 to 5. So these are the arrow counts for the signals. Up to 5 signals. And, And, that is going to, so what I've done is I've got number 6 over here. So make sure that no other slot has got any optimization variables in there. I don't know what this was. I'll just make this a 40 and a 1. Okay, so that should fix that up. So you should see about 1,400, 1,350 iterations when you're running this. So you'll see it won't take too long to run. And I've also got the MNQ09, which I should have the 12. But it takes about a minute to 2 minutes to run an optimization like this. And also depending on the date range that you're working with. I think I'm just using a small date range over here. Yeah, the 8th to the 9th, so just a small range. So we'll let this just run complete. And I will look through the chat while this is running. And thanks to everybody that's jumped on, for being on here. Awesome. Okay. So it doesn't take a tremendous amount of time to run the optimizations, even with that setting selected. Okay, so that's easy there. Yeah, this is almost done. Okay, so that took about 1 minute 42 seconds. Okay, so that was the duration for that. And now when you run that, you're able to look at the analysis, you're able to look at all the trading days, you're obviously able to look at the specific half hour of day values. So all of that is basically just put in over there. I'm not sure exactly why that is doing that, but that's okay. So that is, it's showing in over there. Now, if I untick this box, untick the include trade history, and I just want to go to the bottom over here and change this to 12. MNQ 12. Okay. And I'll run the same date, but all I've done is untick that, you see. So let's run that. See, so the optimization just runs a bit quicker. So if you're doing extended optimizations over larger periods of time, unticking this box will make them go faster. But there are a few little drawbacks on that, which we'll look at in a moment. Okay, so yeah, I changed the contract. So as you can see, you'll still see the results that are picked up over there. So you're going to see the results, but you're not going to see any history over here. So if you go to the actual, trades, you're not going to see any of the history of the positions over there. So I'm just looking back at the chart. So this is obviously only doing the first slot, right? So it's only going to show, it's going to show the actual entries, but it's not going to show the connected dotted lines of where the trades were. So it's not going to show you the history. But what it is going to do is it's going to give you the values of the results. Now you can take this over here. So if I go template and I go save, and I just call this number 1 like this. And then I go to my trading chart and I go strategies. And I go, if I load this specific template load, and I load number 1. Okay, you'll see that the untick history is there. And if I activate it just like this, you'll see that it shows started. It shows all of that, but there's not going to be any history. So it's showing the plotted trades. So those were the actual plotted trades for the session, but it's not showing any history. So what you need to do when you actually activate the strategy on the trading chart is, so you've loaded the template. So you go on, you've loaded your template load, the one you've just run through the optimization. So you go straight to the top of the page like this, tick the box, and then come straight to the bottom and then click on enable, apply, and OK. And then that will actually show you the plotted trade. So that shows you all the history of the trade. And then you're obviously able to look at the previous history of the optimization and where the plotted trades would have entered. So that's how that basically works. So just a quick thing to add in there to help you guys speed up optimizations. So that's what that first little feature does. Okay, so what I've included over here is for every slot, I've included a profit target and a stop loss. So you're able to choose a dollar value for your stop and target for the total profit for the slot. Okay, now if you scroll down a little bit, you will see that the slot starts from 6:05 p.m. to 11:50. So that is slot number 1. So I've got it all pretty close in the settings here. So slot 1, it's got a 200 stop, 200 target. You're optimizing the values for slot 1. And you know that slot 1 is running between this time and this time. Okay, so that's where we have been. Now, to further add optimization parameters to the strategy, what I've also done is I've included a stop ticks and target ticks for that individual slot. So as we know, price moves differently throughout the trading day. So you have, the market reacts very, very differently for the Asian session, obviously for the European session, the US session. There's all different markets running throughout the day. So the trading action or the price action for the day is vastly different depending on the time of the day. So that is the main reason why we've actually put together these slots, so as to capture what settings would work best under those current conditions. And this is also reflected in the stop ticks and target ticks. So you can optimize a specific stop ticks and target ticks value for each slot. Now, there's a button over here to use the stop ticks and target ticks or not use them. So if you untick these boxes, it's not going to use any of the stop ticks and target ticks. Obviously, if you select the target ticks, it'll only use the target ticks for all the slots, only the stop ticks. So you can definitely choose between them what you want to do. So most of you will probably use the stop and the target, and then you can adjust specific values in here. So we can do a quick optimization just using like a stop and a target. And what we might even do over here is just create like a smaller, let's create a smaller value over here. So even like if we use like 100. So I'm going to use 100 and let's just make this as a 40 just to see what that comes up as. So what we're going to be doing is, so stop ticks and target ticks for slot 1, we know we're trading between, we're selecting slot 1. We're not going to include the trade history just to make it go faster. We've got a 200 stop, 200 target, and then we can optimize that. So I'm going to run that again, and then let's see what that comes up with. And while that's running, you can just use the mouse wheel to scroll up and down to make sure you've definitely got the slot selected, target ticks, stop ticks, and so on. You've still got an overall daily stop and target in play. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's showing that value now. Okay, so 454.1. So if I go template and I go save and I go 1, save yes, I go back to my trading chart and I go strategies. I'm just going to disable this. So template, load, 1, load. Remember, go right to the top, tick the box, come right to the bottom, enable, apply, and OK. See, now that's showing the trades that's showing the trades based on that. So you'll see every single trade now is going to have that specific 40 tick target. Now you'll notice that I've included the slippage and commission. So you'll see how the entry is showing, the entries show properly. So you see how the entry is not at the beginning of the candle. So it's 3 ticks away, which is replicating market conditions almost exactly. So that's why when you run optimization and after you've run the live session, the trades are going to match up. Okay, so that's what that looks like. And then you're able to obviously view the strategy performance from that. Obviously, using stops and targets it's limiting the strategy considerably. So we'll cover more on that, but like that'll be the history of that. You see, so like so far today, there's entered 2 positions if the strategy was active on those settings, and those would have been the stops and targets. Now you will notice too that there's no indicator on this chart. So because the strategy is using, I've basically created the strategy to reinitialize the indicator on every new slot. So every time a new slot starts, it's basically reinitializing the indicator to get fresh settings for that indicator. So you basically got 6 indicators loaded on this chart if you're using all 6 slots. So, you know, it's difficult to make one indicator show all those values without it causing NinjaTrader to overload. So that's why I've not included the indicator on the specific trading chart. Okay, well let's move on to the next slot. So we're going to just do a quick optimization over here, which will be very cool. So let's untick the stops and targets. Okay, so I'm going to untick the stops and targets, and we'll just run through one optimization. So say you're starting from absolute scratch. So, you know, if you want to do exactly what I've done here, go template, you can load up the first template that I've got on there. So if you go your template and you go load, you'll see that this one over here is one that I've already selected. So if we just load this one up anyway, so if we load this one up, and you'll see that it's got all of the slots in play. So this was an optimization I did earlier. Those are the slot targets. And these are all the A and B settings that have each been individually optimized. Those are the times of the day. I'm not using stop ticks and target ticks. And it's basically trading from 6:15 p.m. to 4 p.m. with that daily target. So you'll see that those are all the settings on there. So if I go into my chart now and I go into the strategies and I disable this and I go template load. Remember, this is inside the script, so you guys will all have access to that. And I just activate that. Okay, so this is what this looks like so far. So if I look at this, if we go to the strategy performance, real time and historical, you'll see that this is where we are. So I've only done optimization for these dates, as you can see on the thing. So we're currently over here. Okay, so that is what the optimization looks like. And obviously you can see your half hour of day results and so forth. So you'll see the strategy really comes to live during the 8 till 2 p.m. period. So let's actually work on that. So I'm actually going to do an optimization. So some of you guys might not want to have the strategy running the entire day. So you might decide, okay, well, I want to run the strategy, but I don't want to run it for all the slots. I want to be very selective in when I want the strategy running. So then all you do is you look at the slots over here. You see, okay, slot 4 starts is 8:45 to 11. Now you could make this anytime you want. So say, for example, 8:45 is good because it's after the mad craziness, if there's any big news, which normally happens at that time. So you can say, okay, well, 8:45 to 11, 11 to 2, 2 to 4. So that's the period of time that you want to run. So what you can do is you can go to the top and you can untick slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 5, and slot 6. So now what you're doing is you're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to optimize from slot 4 onwards for the trading day. And what I'll do is I'll untick the history. So I'm going to go to slot 4, and then you can choose your profit and stop loss. Don't worry about all the settings for 1, 2, and 3. Just come to slot 4 over here. And I've unticked the target and stops. Again, that's optional. You can choose what you want to do. But I'm going to choose my 210, 258, and then my 125. Now you've obviously also, for goodness sakes, I keep doing this. I keep having, one of the slots. It's this one over here, number 6. I keep having one of the slots values in there. So if you've got values in there, it kind of just messes things up. So don't have that in there. Okay, so that's number 6. We're gonna come back to 6 later. So we're just doing number 4 for now. So like I said, about 1,300 optimizations, iterations for that, and it should take about a minute or so, not even a minute. And also what we're doing is we are optimizing the latest amount of data to give us the heartbeat of the market. So what is the market currently doing during these time periods? We're not interested in what it did 6 months ago. It's like, what is the current market action, of this period? Okay, so you'll see there, it got a result of 1.3 with 206, but we can't see any history. Remember, we can't look at any history here, right? So it's not going to show us any analysis because we've got that box unticked. But generally, when you're looking at the results over here, I think it gives us a summary. So if you're looking at these results, you can very quickly, just by looking through the results, know, okay, well, which one is the best, right? So you're obviously going to choose the top one over there. So now you're going to put the settings in there. So we've got 2 and 38, and 4. So this only acted on the 4th signal of the indicator, which is good. Okay, so that's slot number 4 taken care of. So now we're going to go up a little bit, tick the box for slot 5, and then come down to slot 5 and do the same thing. So I'm going to go 2 to 10. So 2 to 10 and 2 to 58, and then 1 to 5. Okay, so let's see what that does. So now that's doing slot number 5. Let's see how this one performs. So reasonably quick to get the results out. Show me the money! Excellent. Okay, so that one was 5. So all we're doing now is we're going to just make sure the settings are captured. So 5 and 5 and 40. This part's a bit tedious. 540, and we're going to select number 2. 2 and 2. Okay, so now we've done 4 and 5. Now we're going to scroll back up and we're going to select slot number 6. So slot number 6, and we're going to do the A and B settings for slot number 6. So 2 to 10, 2 to 58, and then 1 to 5, and we're going to run that. So what we've done is we've done slot 4, 5, and 6. We've got 1 trade size. So that's the other option too. If you want to add larger positions, you could adjust your trade size over there. So if you want to enter 2 contracts or 3 contracts or 4 contracts or 5 contracts, you can do that over there. So we've optimized from 8:45 all the way to 4:45. So that is the trade. That's the total time during the day that the strategy will be trading. Okay, cool. So now we've got we'll look at the results. 3, that is good. So we're going to go 3, 3, and all we're doing is just filling up these numbers, right? 40, 40. I wish it was a bit faster for NinjaTrader to, recognize when we're selecting a new field, but unfortunately it's a bit slow in that regard. Okay, so now we've got slots 4, 5, and 6. So now you can go template, you can go save, and you can go MNQ 20_20, which is the bar size that you're optimizing on, and then you can go slot 4 to 6. Why not just, and then save that. Okay, so now you've got that. You can go to your trading chart and you can go to your strategies. Disable the strategy and go template, load, 4 to 6, load. Now remember, go right up to the top of the settings, tick the box because now you want to see all the history, right? And then come right to the bottom, enable, apply, and OK. All right, so now that's going to show the history of those trades. So if we go to strategy performance, real time and historical, and we go to the analysis, and we go to a half hour of the day, entry time, we'll see that the strategy is only entering positions from 8:45 till that time, and then it's exiting wherever it exits up to 4:40, right? So now what we've done is we've just done a great little optimization for that time of the day. So the strategy is only trading, that period of the day. So, and then obviously we can look at the chart. What else can we look at over here? Just the summary, I guess. So it's telling us that the total net was $97 in commission. The max drawdown was 319, 80 trades, 65% profitable. So because we're not using targets and stops, these trades are running they're going signal to signal. So you'll see, look at the average trade. It's $47, which is on micros, right? So that's about 90 ticks. So the average trade is making 90 ticks. Average winning trade is making $100, which means it's over 200 ticks. And the average losing trade is losing about 100 ticks. So maximum consecutive winners 12, maximum consecutive losers 5. So let's have a look at this. So you're going to notice, this is what you call signal to signal trading. So the position's entered over there, and it's sold over there. So it's just running signal to signal. So if we look at this, and of course you got your slot target reach. So there it entered a position and it ran all the way till the individual slot target had been reached. So there we have over a 400 tick trade. So this is the benefit of running the signal to signal. Now, obviously, when that happens, you could have a situation where you have a losing position where that runs like that. And that's just because the signal, the arrow choice or the arrow count did not, show an opposite arrow to the same value as the arrow that initiated the trade. So that's the only drawdown of having this type of setup of signal to signal is you could experience, also bigger losing positions, but not near as many as you would the winning positions. Okay, so there's a strategy daily profit exit. That's exiting over there. There's another long run up. So signal to signal trading. We can scroll back. There we go. So there's another one there. So that's also the benefit of having a slot target, because you're chasing individual slot targets. You can also disable the slot target if you wanted to, but it seems to be pretty effective having a slot target in place. And of course, if you really wanted to run the the target ticks and stop ticks, you can do that also. But yeah, I really like the idea of running the strategy from signal to signal. And as you can see, it's pretty powerful. So, that is something that I'm going to be looking at doing this week. I might even be running this as one of the templates for the week ahead. So that's one of the M&Q templates. And then I've got to look at some other options for other instruments. So I'll be looking at the chat later to see if there's any other optimizations done in there, and then put together the game plan. So I'm going to put together a good game plan this week. So I'm going to be working on it after this call. And then what I'll do is I will update the chat afterwards. So that is what we'll be looking at. So that is as far as the updates have actually been. We've covered, we covered that. Now I've also put in, if I just go to my strategy list, I've also put in on the baseline wick trader. If I go over there, I've also put that include trade history. So that's default on the strategies. I haven't done too much optimizations on this strategy, but just let me know if the strategies work faster with the optimization if this box is unticked. So the guys who work with that. So that's it. So that's what I've done this week, guys. I've been really looking for this continuous strategy to make sure that we have something that can really trade signal to signal and have different results for different periods of the day. So that is really powerful. And I think that's it. That covers it. So guys, I hope you have a fantastic week. I know that you guys have been experiencing some amazing results. So keep posting those, please. And also, there's been quite a few new members join over the last week, 2 weeks. So really appreciate you being here. And I encourage you to really, navigate the system properly. Watch the calls that we've had, even if you want to watch the last 2 group calls, just to become really in tune with the system. Review the documentation, keep an eye out on the different chats that we have in Discord. And, you guys will be hitting the floor running because, we've got these amazing templates in play, which you can activate right away. And I'm hoping that, this call got you to understand the strategies a bit more and the templates, how to load up the templates on the chart. So I hope this be beneficial. Okay, guys, have a fantastic week ahead. And I look forward to seeing what you guys can do with the system. Okay, guys, have a good one and cheers.